happened at Vail that has never happened before, and that is we have big Christmas trees, 2 big trees that just appeared that we wanted to decorate the Vail Chapel differently this year. And so just imagine, just a few hours ago, this same sermon with 2 large Christmas trees filled with lights behind the altar at the Vail Chapel. Okay? Everybody with me? Okay. There's a story, obviously. Have you started to get them? Or have you started to send them? Now, I know it's all electronic, but and I know it's easy to push a button and tell 800 friends that you really care for them personally. But some of us, at least if you can still find a Christian Christmas card, which is a really challenging thing to do, actually, have you started to get Christmas cards? Yeah? Now, I love Christmas cards. I think Christmas card art is one of the least appreciated forms of art. And quietly, I want to tell you that I read almost every single one of the cards that I get. Now, I think Hallmark does a beautiful job conveying the mysteries of the Christian faith. I love it when they have the silhouette of the Holy Family. Joseph bent over with care, leading this 4-legged animal with a young, very pregnant woman in silhouette. You know, have you seen those with a kind of dark blue background? I love it even more when they're traipsing through a snowfield with lights on Christmas trees. So accurate to the story that we have, of course. Or I love the poinsettia, the fuzzy poinsettia picture. Have you ever gotten a Christmas card with that? And of course, everybody knows that originally, before Christianity, that poinsettias were a winter fertility sign. So just be careful with those cards when you open them. Who knows what could happen. But anyway, so beautiful poinsettias. Or I like the ones that really take a risk. They are really going to call us to a sacrificial moment of personal witness. Those are the cards that really make you stand up, and they challenge you to bring all your faith into words that will put you into contention with the rest of the world. Something really bold and noble. I hate to gore anybody's ox here. Happy holidays. I mean, nothing stirs the spirit like that, right? I love all of those cards. Now, some of us have gone around this particular bend. I also love family cards. When we marry our younger couples, for the first couple of years, I get beautiful Christmas cards from couples that are going and doing all the things that you can do without kids. I mean, they're hiking, they're trekking, they're scuba diving and waving at us. And they always, because they're newly married, they're standing close to each other. It's a really beautiful thing to see, actually, in these cards. And then, one of 2 things happen. Can anybody guess? They either get a child. No, not that, thank you. A child. Or they get a dog. And the minute that a dog or a child appear, they vanish for 25 years. That kid is spitting up to the camera. That kid is putting his finger in his nose. It doesn't matter. Merry Christmas from our dog or our kid. And then the next time you see this couple, 25 years later, they're now the patriarch and matriarch of the family. They've got kids in between them, and they're standing about as far apart as the frame of the holiday actually, the card actually allows. I love those cards. I actually read most of the letters inside, too. Because it's funny that people write exactly how they talk. And I love that. Most of them. Every once in a while, maybe it's, oh, I know what this person's going to say, right? Okay, so that goes to the bottom. But anyway, most of them I read. Are they coming, these cards? I invite you to take a look at them. They're great. I invite you to examine the one card that's come today. It's at the very bottom of your stack. It didn't come by mail. And it's not electronic. This card is rough-hewn, like someone made it with their hands. It's not got those beautiful Hallmark edges. It's jagged and scratchy. On the front of the card is written with sprawling almost like blood. Repent, you brood of vipers. J. Bab. That's the card that we just received today. And thank God we did. What in the heck are you going to do with that card? Some of us never even look at it. We've received it year after year, like all these other cards, we just never get to it. We don't even see, we've heard it, we've seen the card for so many years. But we never actually notice that it's there for us in our stack. Others of us get the card and we take a look at it. Vipers, repent. That's interesting. That's like that family letter. I kind of know what's in there. I'm just not going to open it. I'll put it to the bottom. Some people are terrified, and you should be, of this card. Some people, frankly, don't want to know what's on the inside. But if you're here at church, and we're in the Advent season, John the Baptist, thank God, is with us. What if we were to open that card? Just for a moment. What would be inside? Let's open it together. The first thing that's in that card, the first thing that falls out is a giant axe. Not Acts of the Apostles. I mean a hatchet. Axe. Because the first thing inside that card is all the stuff that is not bearing fruit in life. John said, even now the axe is being laid to the root of the tree. I will tell you, at the Vale Chapel just a few hours ago, at this moment in the sermon, 25 people at an Episcopalian 8 o'clock service stood up and screamed out loud and pointed behind me. And I thought, either John the Baptist has come, or perhaps they were finding a pledge card. I don't know. The tree, one of the two trees at that very moment in the sermon, from the bottom fell over with a crash. And it knocked over 2 of the candles, just for good measure, off the Advent wreath. Splam on the ground. I didn't even know the trees were going to be there. We didn't plant it. You know, John the Baptist has a funny way of showing up. What if John the Baptist shows up like that? Anything that's an obstacle to God, anything that's not bearing good fruit, anything that we know needs to go, if you open that card, John says, let's cut it down. Let's chop it right now. It's growing all over us, and it's holding us down. We can't receive God's love. We can't look at Jesus in the eye. We can't even look at ourselves, maybe, in the eye. It's holding us back, and that stuff needs to come off. It's like spiritual surgery. Let's chop it down, John says, right now, and get rid of it. And I think I went Southern in the gospel. I'm sorry that Steve wasn't here to read a proper Michigander gospel. What happens, by the way, you just heard it 5 minutes ago. What happens when you chop that stuff off? Where does it go? What happens to it? It gets thrown into the fire. Come on, everybody from Texas, say it with me. Fire. Unquenchable fire. We just don't stack it up on the side. We don't need it anymore. It needs to be destroyed. What is that? What's in your life that John's going to come after? Boy, do I have a lot in my life. That's why we're about to say a confession. There is stuff growing inside of me that God cannot use. It's not going to bear any good fruit. It needs to be cut away. That's what's in that card. If we continue to open the card a little further, we might get to a gift. Even John gives us gifts. All the readings today, beautiful, beautiful recitation of all the gifts that God has for us. The Spirit, Isaiah says, of wisdom and understanding. How about that at the top of your Christmas list? The spirit of counsel, to know what to say when people ask you about things that are important to them. Why do these things happen in life? The spirit of knowledge, and to fear the Lord, not out of anxiety, out of respect and awe. Anybody up for that gift? What does Paul say in today's reading? May the God of hope fill you with joy and peace in believing. You know the cards, I hate to bore anybody's axe again, the cards I think are so psychologically interesting is peace on earth. Have you ever gotten a card, peace on earth? You know the people that send me those cards are the least peaceful people I know? I mean, are they asking for that, or do they need that? Should I want to return that card and say, yes, how about you? We're supposed to be walking around as Christians, joyful and hopeful in this season of the year. And I think it's interesting that the people that say this the most sometimes have the least joy in the world. My gosh, we've been given a great gift. The world's falling apart. We know that. Why not celebrate what we have? All the gifts that God has given to us. If we open the card finally, far enough, you get to peace. Jesus says, peace which the world can't even imagine is my gift to you. Peace. That unshakable trust that God is in his heaven. He's got it figured out, especially when I don't. That sense of confidence that when things are falling apart, and friends, things are falling apart, that God has a plan and a purpose for each one of us. Jesus says, peace which the world can never understand is my gift to you. I sat in the Vail Valley Medical Center a few days ago with a man that has sat where you were sitting for years. His name is Barney Dill. Barney and his wife Carrie, a member of our vestry, and Reese, their 4-year-old daughter. Barney is being treated for a very aggressive, vicious cancer. Barney sat in the bed in room 208A of the Vail Valley Medical Center, looked up at me, and said, I'm not asking anymore why this is happening to me. He said, I'd much rather be in this bed than either my wife, my daughter, or anybody I care about. He said, I have to trust God. Barney was preaching to me. He was taken yesterday, and I have permission to share this, by ambulance, very dramatically down to Aurora, so that he could breathe. And Carrie and Reese are down there with him now. We're going to pray for them in just a second, and I want you to know where they are. And I want you to know that if Barney Dill can look up from a hospital bed and say that to me about trust and peace, can't we receive that gift sitting right here today? It's a gift that's available for each one of us. So friends, enjoy the Christmas cards. Enjoy the art on the front. Read the family stories. Or if you don't read them, tell people you love the stories about the families that they told. Reflect on all the funny things that people will do in Christmas cards. But would you do me a favor? When you get to that last one, repent, you brood of vipers. Take a deep breath and open it as wide as you can. Because the real gift of God's love is waiting there for you and for me. In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.